after the captain departed. Two fine cricketers showed plenty of resolve. They went about the repair job and steered their side to safer shores. The Aussies then used their formidable firepower to sink the smaller Bangladesh vessel. So can Bangladesh's ship come in today? Coming up live on Star Sports, the third one-day international of the Grameenphone series, Bangladesh versus Australia.
That's how in one-day cricket. So line-wise, you were just critical of the Aussies.
Thanks, Harsha. As usual, I have both the captains with me and the match referee, Jeff Crow, and the home captain will flick the coin.
Australia.
Australia is the call, and it's Bangladesh. So Habibul Bashir have won the toss. Skipper, well done. What are you doing?
I definitely do a bad pass.
What do you think of the wicket? Is it the same as day before's wicket or slightly different?
It looks pretty much same. Hopefully it touches a bit more in the second innings.
And what's your changes in your side?
We got two changes. Mohammad Ashraful and Aftab Ahmed came in place of Javed Umar and Tushar Imran.
And this is your last game of this season. Obviously, you guys learned a lot. You played well in this series. So you're going to take this experience in future games?
Yes, it is. It's our last game. So hopefully everything goes right. There's certain place we need to work on. Hopefully we make less mistake than what we did in the last games.
Thank you very much and best of luck. Gilly? What do you think of the wicket? Is it the same as the previous game, you reckon?
Yeah, it looks very similar to every wicket we've seen in Bangladesh, actually. So hopefully we're familiar now with the way it plays. And we've got a few changes to our team, so a few new guys coming in, Mark Cosgrove debuting. So, yeah, a great opportunity for him.
So you think young boys will be learning playing on this sort of tracks? Obviously, it's different cricket altogether.
Yeah, very much so. We've already seen even our experienced players like Brett Lee, learning more about bowling in these conditions. And I guess these are more similar to what the World Cup wickets will be like than what our Australian wickets are like. So it's a great experience. So we've got Brett Dorey coming in, James Hopes. Yeah, great opportunity for them to learn how to bowl. And then, as I say about Cosgrove's, his batting.
Usually I see that keepers do have a rest after a long tour, but eventually you enjoy captaincy. You think you enjoy captaining your country?
Yeah, absolutely. It's anyone that gets that opportunity knows it's a big thrill. So, and it's great for Ricky to be able to have a little spell. He's earned the break, I think, over the last 18 months to 2 years he's had. So a good chance for me, and yeah, hopefully we can carry it on.
Thank you very much and best of luck.
Thanks, mate. I just want to say a quick hi to Stuart Clark and his wife Michelle. Congratulations on the birth of their little baby boy from the Australian cricket team. Well done, mate.
Thank you. So the news from the medal is Bangladesh have won the toss and they're elected to bat.
with us in our InVision studio, and so is Athar Ali Khan. We're going to talk to them about this game. But first of all, right down to the pitch. It's coming to you live. Jeff Thompson is down there, and Tom, from the look of it from up here, it looks like the same pitch used for the Test match.
I don't think it is. It's the Test match ones in between, Harsha. So this one here, but there's cracks on this one today, but they're not as big as the ones the other day. So that tells me that maybe there's a little bit more moisture in this. The curator tells me he's trying to get a bit more bounce in it. We saw the one 2 days ago was a bit low, so hopefully it's got a bit more bounce in it. But mate, it's got a lot of grip on it again. It's going to turn, and that's the biggest thing. The spinners will be into this one, but the pace bowlers might see a little bit more bounce on this one this morning. And well, maybe Australia might play a few different players today, but who knows. But there's a big crowd in, and that's really good to see because, I mean, although the series is over, they really want to see their team, Bangladesh, do pretty well.
Tom, the square doesn't change too much in character. Is it going to be a bit like the first day pitch for the Test match then?
Well, I think so. I think, if anything, hopefully it's like that because that was very good for batting. Remember, it came on well. Bangladesh scored 350 on that first day. So hopefully he's gone back to that formula. But it's pretty hard to tell. Like I said, I'm only going on the cracks, and they're only small and they're small in circumference. So hopefully that means a little bit more moisture, a little bit more bounce.
Another 250 game, or are you looking at a little more?
I think, well, you'd like to think 250 easy every time you come on this pitch. So hopefully it is.
Okay, Tomo, thank you very much. You can go back into our air-conditioned commentary box. Because I can imagine it's very hot there. Sunil Gavaskar is here, so is Athar Ali Khan. Sunny, these pitch reports remind me of what Mikey Holding did on his first tour to India. He told the producer, record one pitch report and use it throughout the series.
Yes, I think pretty much the same character because the soil's pretty much the same all over Bangladesh. I mean, as far as we know, whatever matches we've seen in Bangladesh. And so really the pitch won't change much in character unless it's not been prepared or rolled, unless it's not been watered, and unless it starts to crumble and it's very, very dry. This one, according to what, excuse me, what Tomo has just told us, doesn't seem to be that. So if Bangladesh and Australia really, apply themselves, maybe we could have a 500-run game.
Batting first, 250 targets, little more, little less.
I think whichever team, if Bangladesh bats first, it depends whether the openers get them the top order has been failing for most of the games. If they can put on a good foundation, then probably look at 250 or if not more.
This part of the world, you win the toss and you bat. Let's see what happens there. Wasim Akram is in with the captains.
Thanks, Harsha. As usual, I have both the captains with me and the match referee, Jeff Crow, and the home captain will flick the coin.
Australia.
Australia is the call. And it's Bangladesh. So Habibul Bashir have won the toss. Skipper, well done. What are you doing?
I definitely do a bat first.
What do you think of the wicket? Is it the same as day before's wicket or slightly different?
It looks pretty much same. Hopefully it does a bit more in the second innings.
And what's your changes in your side?
We got two changes. Mohammad Ashraful and Aftab Ahmed came in place of Javed Umar and Tushar Imran.
And this is your last game of this season. Obviously, you guys learned a lot. You played well in this series. So you're going to take this experience in future games?
Yes, it is. It's our last game. So hopefully everything goes right. There's certain place we need to work on. Hopefully we make less mistake than what we did in the last games.
Thank you very much and best of luck. Gilly, what do you think of the wicket? Is it the same as the previous game, you reckon?
Yeah, it looks very similar to every wicket we've seen in Bangladesh, actually. So hopefully we're familiar now with the way it plays. And we've got a few changes to our team, so a few new guys coming in. Mark Cosgrove debuting, so yeah, a great opportunity for him.
So I think young boys will be learning playing on this sort of tracks. Obviously, it's different cricket altogether.
Yeah, very much so. We've already seen even our experienced players like Brett Lee, learning more about bowling in these conditions. And I guess these are more similar to what the World Cup wickets will be like than what our Australian wickets are like. So it's a great experience. So we've got Brett Dorey coming in, James Hopes. Yeah, great opportunity for them to learn how to bowl. And then, as I say about Cosgrove's, his batting.
Usually I see that keepers do have a rest after a long tour, but eventually you enjoy captaincy. You think you enjoy captaining your country?
Yeah, absolutely. It's anyone that gets that opportunity knows it's a big thrill. So, and it's great for Ricky to be able to have a little spell. He's earned the break, I think, over the last 18 months to 2 years he's had. So a good chance for me, and yeah, hopefully we can carry it on.
Thank you very much and best of luck.
Thanks, mate. I just want to say a quick hi to Stuart Clark and his wife Michelle. Congratulations on the birth of their little baby boy from the Australian cricket team. Well done, mate.
Thank you. So the news from the middle is Bangladesh have won the toss and they're elected to bat.
Yes, they have. And this is how they line up. Shehryar Nafees, Rajin Saleh, Aftab Ahmed comes back. So does Ashraful. I wonder if Ashraful should bat 3 actually. Habibul Bashar, Alok Kapali, then Khalid Mashood, Mohammad Rafiq. And the bowlers, no change there. Mashrafi, Murtaza, Shahzad Hussain and Abdul Razak. Now the changes are coming here. And they're coming thick and fast. Everyone's getting a game here. So Mark Cosgrove, just 21 years old and big built. Reminds you of a young Colin Milburn, if some of you go back that far. Then Clark, Simons, Hussey, then Hopes comes in as well, James Hopes. And there's a game for Brett Dory as well. So no place today and a rest for Brett Lee, as indeed for Ricky Ponting as well. 160th player for Australia. Mark Cosgrove gets his cap from Ricky Ponting. He's a very interesting character. He's just 21 years old. What a big day for him, putting on that big Australia cap. Yes, he's big, isn't he, Sunny? He's got a record few people would want to have of being left out of a side because he was overweight.
Well, I've seen him in the Hotel Health Club a couple of times, so he's certainly working hard at his fitness or whatever they've asked him to do. But at the end of the day, I really don't think size should matter. It's what you do out on the field that really is the important thing. I mean, you can't really lay down, hard and fast tools. Your waist has to be only 30 or whatever. You've got to produce the runs. You've got to get the wickets.
Maybe take the catches as well, but you're not joining the army. Right, Athar, tell us a story behind Ashraful now. In one day, out one day. Was that a message to him saying you can't take your place for granted?
Definitely. I think even though Habibul Bashar stated that he was being rested, I think the message was there that if you can continue to play the way that you have played, you will be dropped or rested. And I think the message has been sent. He was not picked up in the last game, but I mean, there's no shortage of talent as we have seen for the last couple of years. And then Aftab Ahmed comes back too. So it's a question of them putting up a decent target since they've won the toss and now decided to bat first.
Well, the sinus is gone then for Aftab Ahmed. But Andrew Simons is in as well. He's had a strange kind of series. Duck in the first game, a wonderful century in the second innings. And I dare say he's going to be the fulcrum for this Australian side, the batting fulcrum. I was very interested in seeing his wagon wheel, which had lots of nudges and pushes. When you see highlights like this, you see the boundaries. But the building blocks were those singles all around. And he has this great ability to play the big ones almost on call. And he did that quite well. Produced the innings that took Australia up to 250. They tried playing him the test matches as well, Sunny, but this is clearly his area of strength, the one-day game.
Yes, I think even he took a while to get settled in the one-day format. And even at the test level, he's only played a handful of tests at the moment. So you really can't jump to conclusions and say that he's not ready for that. I think it's a matter of time. So we'll just have to wait and give him the opportunities. And who knows, he might just be the kind of all-rounder that Australia need down at number 6 or 7, which will give them just the balance that they need to play 5 batsmen, 4 bowlers, and somebody like Andrew Simons who can bowl seam up and he can bowl spin when required. He's a very utility cricketer.
Yes, sir. If someone told you, Adam, that Andrew Simons scored 100, you'd have expected lots more greens and blues there. 2 6s and 6 4s. But I'm intrigued by the 49 singles over there. That was the way they built their innings. Michael Clark, in fact, had 40 singles in his 54 as well. And they came at a crucial stage.
Well, actually, what that shows, those singles, is maturity. It's experience as well. Because earlier on, he might have just tried to hit his way out of trouble if the ball wasn't coming on. But he was quite prepared to wait, bide his time, as did Michael Clark. And that shows maturity. And in cricket, you don't get maturity just overnight. It comes over a period of time. So just because you asked me about the test prospects for him, Australia might just have to be a little patient with him for tests as well.
Good line as well. He called it a working class innings, and there's no shame in doing that. In fact, that's probably the way ahead 9 days out of 10. Now, Athar, Habibul Bashar, 350s, so he's in pretty good form. But these are not turning out to be authoritative 50s. Are you happy with the way he's going?
If you look at his own performance, I think he's done justice. Like he's scored 350s in the last 3 games. What he hasn't got the support from his teammates. I mean, fine with him, where captain goes in and gets a 50, but he needs other players to play around him. And if the top order plays around him, then you'll probably get close to the 250 mark, where you can set a decent target to the Australians. Otherwise, I think he's batted beautifully.
I just think, Sunny, he gives you the impression that he's the best Bangladesh batsman. We've seen that in the test matches as well. Is he too low at 5?
He's well organized. And if he bats number 3 at tests, I don't see why he shouldn't be batting number 3 at the one-day level. And particularly now that he's in form, he's in touch, good touch, it'll also mean that Bangladesh don't lose a rush of wickets as they are doing at the top of the order.
So there you are. Bangladesh have won the toss. They will bat first. We'll be back with live action in just a moment. Out come the two umpires, full house and hot day, as much for them as for the players. Ian Howell's been the constant factor. Nadir Shah, the local Bangladeshi umpire, getting a big game here today at Fatullah. Let me tell you, it is seriously hot today, and the players are going to feel it. Just talking to Brett Lee the other day, he said he had 12 bottles of water while play was on. This is what the teams look like. Big days, big day for some of the Australian players. Mitchell Johnson is still a young man. So is Brett Dory, and James Hope's getting a game. Mark Cosgrove gets his debut as well for Bangladesh. Ashraful comes back, and so does Aftab Ahmed. Huge here. Shahriar Nafees and Rajan Saleh. There he goes again, holding the bat in that very peculiar but unique style of his. Interesting to see how they take on a very, very inexperienced Australian seam attack. If they get going, these crowds will have a lot to cheer about. So Dory, Hopes and Johnson, it must be the most inexperienced Australian new ball attack ever. Not so in our commentary box. There are two people who know a thing or two about quick bowling, Wasim Akram and Jeff Thompson.
Thank you, Harsha. Good morning, Tomo.
Good morning, Wasim. Well, look at the crowd. They're back here again this morning. They might be 2-0 down and the series already over, but they want to see some action here this morning. And hopefully for them, they get plenty.
Absolutely. It's full house, a lot of people there, enthusiastic, and they are buzzing. That's the word out there. And new ball will be taken.
Hi, I'm Shahriar Nafees, 20 years of age, left-hand bat.
Shahriar Nafees, the man on strike. Now, he's been the man in the series for him, but he missed out the other day. He's been a little lean in the one-dayers, so they need a good start for him. I think he's really vital for them to get off to a good score. He has to score.
He has to score. He's a good player.
Hi, I'm Rajan Saleh, age 24, right-hand batsman.
Rajan Saleh is the other opener. He's playing into his 37th one-day international, averaging 23, almost 24, 550s and 100. And the new ball is taken by Mitchell Johnson.
Yes, Mitchell Johnson bowled pretty well 2 days ago here, sharp. Now he's got the opportunity to bowl first up here with the brand new white ball. He's just got one slip, and the other catcher is really a gully, you'd call that. But Mitchell Johnson, just the 5 matches for him. Very new to the game, but he has got plenty of pace.
Yes, the potential is very much there, and obviously this is totally different ball altogether. A bit of swing there, nicely played by Shahriar Rafiz. And what I like about Shahriar is always on a front foot. Doesn't matter who's bowling, especially in one-day cricket, and that's his technique. The previous game he got a beauty from Brett Lee.
Well, there's a new man today, debutant Mark Cosgrove from South Australia, and he'd be over the moon. It's fairly warm out there today, and Gilchrist has been given the captaincy today, Ponting having a rest, so Gilly back in charge. Well, there was a couple of noises there, but boy, I think the batsman thinks he's hit that inside edge. Mitchell Johnson is over the moon, but I don't think Nafiz is too happy.
Yes, I don't know whether he hit the bat or not, but again, this wasn't the shot to play if you're playing a second or third delivery. It appears that it could be inside edge. We'll have a look in a second. Here we go, pitch there. There was a big inside edge. Bad decision.
Well, we haven't seen too many decisions that haven't been too right. Ian Howell is the man there. Mitchell Johnson is happy, but boy, that sounded like a huge inside edge. So the first wicket down for Bangladesh. No runs on the board.
Hi, I am Aftab Ahmed, 21 years old, right-hand batsman, right-arm bowler.
Aftab Ahmed is a new batsman in, a good talent. You just have to be patient at times, but talent is very much there. He's got 550s, averaging 26.12.
Pretty good strike rate too there, 78. So Mitchell Johnson, well, that's his first wicket in Dakar. He was wicketless the other day. He got a wicket in the first match, but Dakar. Oh, his shoulder arms, that's dangerous out there. I don't think it came back enough. This looked like it might have been outside off.
Yeah, maybe, but again, like you said, a dangerous ball to leave because this was coming into him. It didn't swing as much he was hoping as a bowler's point of view. But again, hitting slightly outside line, and there was no shot offer there, right there, just slight. It was going straight, it didn't come back enough. A big appeal though.
Well, it's always dangerous, isn't it? Pitched in line, and I can't believe he shouldered arms to that.
Bit of extra bounce there. Like you said, the boy's got a pace, and that's the first thing, ingredients you look in a pace bowler. This is the wicket. Shahriar Rafiz was the batsman there, and it was a big inside edge right there. You can hear it as well.
Gee, that wasn't a little inside edge, was it? That was a big noise. Very difficult sometimes for the umpire, but there's a lot of noise out there. There's a big crowd, and we're in behind glass here, but the umpire doesn't have the benefit of listening to that sound. So it can be difficult. 1 over gone, none for one. Bangladesh, unfortunately, off to a poor start. More misfortune than anything. I think Johnson, it was a good delivery, but a big inside edge to Nafees. Disappointment for him. So now we've got another new man on the scene here in Bangladesh, Brett Dory.
Bit of swing. Is a tall guy, and like Tomo can really tell us about this young boy.
Well, I haven't seen a great deal of him. Well, he's only played 4 matches, and he came from obscurity to national team in no time flat. 2 years ago, he's playing club cricket, and all of a sudden he got into the West Australian side, and then he's playing for Australia in 1 day as last summer in Australia. So it's been a bit of a meteoric rise, you could say.
Best up delivery. This will be difficult for cricket to bowl at, especially for inexperienced Brad Dory, because he's a tall guy. He probably get an extra bounce when he plays at in Australia on Australian wickets. This is totally different wicket altogether. This was the first wicket share in Nafees. A big inside edge to his back pad. Right back pad in front of the stumps, and poor guy couldn't do much. He just smiled and shook his head.
Well, trying to play his favourite shot, wasn't he, across the line of the ball, and that's what can be the trouble if you try to play across the line in those early overs, that if you don't hit it right or miss it, you're LBW. That's why the general rule of thumb for any youngsters watching out there, no ball there, general rule of thumb is play in the V, play straight at the bowlers in those early overs. Good lesson.
Especially with the new ball. Just hold on to your shots. And that was the no ball. Yes, clearly a big one there. And he's a big lad, like I was just mentioning a little while ago. Umpire Nadir Shah, operating from the pavilion end.
Well, maybe a few butterflies out there for Dory, I doubt it, but, well, he should be loose. It's hot enough out there. Well, that's a shocker.
That is a shocker. So, Tom, you were doing a pitch report. Tell us about the weather. It's pleasant?
Well, I forgot to mention the weather. I tell you, it's an absolute stinker out there this morning. There's no clouds, it's humid, and it's very hot, and there's no breeze.
Much better length, much better iron. I think naturally he bowls away swing to a right-hander, but this wicket is as such where you hardly gonna get any swing. Maybe he'll get extra bounce at times, but not consistently.
Well, this is a good in-swinger. Does go a little bit, but we saw him drag a few away. The way swing on that. I just think maybe he's trying too much. Too many deliveries. You know how you come in young and you try to bowl outswinger, in-swinger in the over. He's better off just bowling an over of outswingers.
Especially first over, as you know, Tomo, being a fast bowler yourself. That was the wide delivery, yes. That's what exactly Tomo was mentioning a little while ago. If you bowl a new ball in one-day cricket, just stick to your natural swing, and then eventually when your body's warmed up, then try both swings.
Well, he's going to bowl 2 overs in 1 over here in a moment.
And he'll be dead tired after that, let me show you that. There's no wind, it's huge, it's hot. Humidity is very much out there, and yes, it's noisy as well. Much better, but you were right with your pitch report that they are slightly extra bounce in the previous game.
Yeah, last game was a bit poor. I think it was not a good cricket wicket. It wasn't. You've got to be able to score runs. Now this is bad, isn't it, for a bowler saying that? But you've got to be able to score runs to make it an interesting game. And today's pitch, here it is on screen. Now that's what I mean. The cracks are very little, but they're in little pieces. The ones the other day were like about a 5-inch diameter on the cracks, and they were bigger. And that just tells me the other pitch was drier. This one's got a little bit more moisture and hopefully a bit more carry.
So far, you were right. We're into second over. Bangladesh have scored 3 runs and they lost 1 wicket already. This is the wicket. You can see it looks a good batting track. Slightly darker than the wicket we played at the previous one-day at Dhaka. And it means obviously it will held together. It won't break up.
But it should still spin. I mean, it's sticky, you know, the spinners will get grip on it. Wow, that's a good delivery. Big inside edge there. Down to fine leg for the single. So 2 overs gone, 4 for 1. Bangladesh, just the 4 runs so far, and unfortunately 1 wicket down. The Fees in the dressing room. Hot conditions out there, big crowd in this morning, right behind their side. Mitchell Johnson to continue. Well, it's normally a hard drive from the city out here of a morning, but there was no traffic too. You got out near the ground, and that's the reason why. There are lots of people out here waiting to see their team arrive, hoping they do pretty well today. It's very hot out there. There's all their 6 and 4 signals covering up their heads, but it's very hot.
Hats off to all the spectators who are backing their team here. Carried. No, it didn't carry edge, but it didn't carry, so it shows that the wicket is not as bouncy as it should be. Any other wicket, this would have gone straight to the first slip.
Hussey's the man there at first slip. And I think it's Michael Clarke next to him. It is a good outside edge, isn't it? But it falls probably a couple of metres short. It's a little bit deceptive, and it's hard with a bloke like Mitchell Johnson, because if you come up and he gets that flyer, you're going to have to, you might wear it in the teeth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's again extra bounce, went straight to the fielder at third man, and a no ball called as well. Cosgrove is the fielder there, debutant. It's all happening here. The crowd is buzzing. Stadium is full of noise.
Well, this is the one I'm talking about, the one that gets that extra bounce. It does find the outside edge. Clarke, there's the no ball for a starter, a couple of inches over. Kicks on him, and that's Michael Clarke there, and just went wide of him, down to Cosgrove at third man. Boy, I thought that was an inside edge. I thought I heard a noise, but obviously not.
Yeah, I heard a noise as well, but obviously there was something else, bat hitting his pads or gloves shaving off his pads maybe. That's Aftab Ahmed on the screen.
Well, he doesn't use his feet here. Look, he just steps into line, and that's all he did. He's got to get back and across with that right foot, the back foot, if he wants to hit that through cover. All you can do with that, playing away from your body, gets an inside edge, he can get caught behind, or he can chop it down on his stumps.
That's fuller delivery, nicely played straight to the fielder. This is better. This particular delivery, he played it nicely. Front foot, weight on the front foot, playing with the straight bat. I think from a Bangladesh point of view, what both the players should do, see off the new ball. Just play 8 overs and say, okay, we're going to get 20 runs. If we can, not, doesn't matter. We'll have a wicket's in hand, we'll get 250 on the board, and then we can put Australia under pressure, especially with 3 new players playing in this game. If they get 240, 250, this was a little while ago. Nobody appealed, obviously, but there was a big nick. I've heard a big noise there. That's extra bounce. That's what we're talking about. Mitchell Johnson is quite nippy, and at times he did nicked it, that particular delivery, and nobody appealed apart from Gilly.
And you and I, we both appealed up here, but definitely heard the noise. As a bowler, you sort of know the bat's so far from his body that is the only thing that can make that noise is the bat. But there's a lot, this is what I say, there's a lot of noise out there, and that's why I reckon Ian Howell missed that first inside edge for Nafiz. So that's probably poetic justice, eh?
Yes, absolutely. This is again nicely played towards third man to end the over. Bangladesh 7 for 1. And a no ball called as well. So 2 from this particular delivery. So I can imagine no ball can hurt to batsmen and to any team. But again, bowling under those conditions. And obviously got to have a couple of extra balls. He bowled 2 no balls in this over already.
You don't want to be bowling no balls in this heat, Wasim, do you? You don't need to give them extras. And you don't need those extra run-ins.
Appeal, a big appeal, going down leg side, probably hit his umpire, signalling that hit his head. And of the over, Bangladesh 8 for 1.
Brett Dorey, big figure out there. I'm not sure on his height. He'd have to be 6'6" at least, something like that. Maybe even a touch more. 6'7".
Huge lad. Oh, that's a big hit. He's got him. That's the one he was looking for. Beautifully bowled. Extra bounce did the trick there.
Well, this might have been his regulation little outswinger there, but poor feet movement from the batsman, playing away from his body. Don't get into line, and look at the disappointment on the crowd's faces there. But I'm sure Ahmed, when he sees that replay, won't be too happy either.
Yes, an extra bounce as well did the trick there. Right there, foot was nowhere near the pitch of the ball. And like you're mentioning, they have to see off the new ball. And that has happened there. Aftab Ahmed is a great talent, but again, he's not succeeding here. Aftab departs for 1, Bangladesh struggling, 8 for 2.
Hi, I'm Mohammad Ashraful, age 21, right-hand top-order batsman.
Mohammad Ashraful, the new man at the crease, 68 matches for him, a strike rate, well, it's up there, isn't it? 850s. But his average, look at that, it's way down. Needs to bump that up, and he really needs to do it here this morning. Bangladesh getting themselves into all sorts of trouble here at the moment.
And he got dropped in the previous game because selectors and the captain thought he was out of touch a bit. But I think if you have to back your main players up, you can't just drop them. You have to back them up and talk to them and tell them, okay, you're the best we have, and try to stay on the crease. And he came up to me the other day, and I met him in the lifts at the hotel, and he asked me what to do. I said, just stay on the crease. This is as simple. Don't play shots. Shots will come to you eventually.
Well, you've got to give yourself half a chance, don't you? What you're saying, guys, spending a bit of time, play yourself in. You can't play shots before you play it in. There it is there. That's the wicket ball from Dory. Nice little away swinger. Just left him off the pitch. And that's what happens if you don't get to the pitch of the ball and it moves, you're going to be in trouble. Brett Dory, well, he's over the moon, isn't he? Well, he's almost over the moon when he stands there, let alone when he jumps.
He's getting a bit of swing. An extra bounce and troubling the batsman here, Bangladeshi batsman. That was his second one-day wicket by Brett Dory. Extra bounce, a bit of slate swing. It's all happening here.
What's he doing leaving the ball and leaving his bat out there? He was always looked like he was going to pad up to that, but he's left his bat in the line of the delivery.
Much better, much solid, looking good like this. Yes, Ashraful, if he plays like this, he's a very dangerous player. But again, as we say, patience is virtue. And for Bangladeshi batsmen, I think that phrase doesn't suits them. Ricky Ponting resting, just watching the game outside, enjoying his off day, and I think he deserves to have an off day. He's been playing every game since last 6 months.
I think he needs a bit more than one day off, but hasn't he had a terrific year and a half with the bat? He'd be pretty happy watching some new charges out there, doing a good job at the moment.
Absolutely, one of the best players in the world and a top leader. He has been in tremendous form from last year and a half, and now handing the troops on the field, Gilchrist, who has been also a great player, one of my favourite players in the world, Gilchrist, by miles.
Well, he always enjoys himself, doesn't he? He's never short of a word out there. When he's keeping, he's always in everything, obviously, and when he's batting, he's, well, one of the best to watch. Eight for 2. Australia opting to make 3 changes this morning, and already 2 of those changes have, well, sorry, one of the changes has made some inroads. Brett Dory, but Mitchell Johnson only 4 games under his belt, so has got a wicket as well, and hopes, imagine he'll be the next one on. Medium pace all-rounder. Here are the 2 wickets that fell this morning. Big inside edge to Nafees. He was unlucky there. Johnson, the bowler.
He was shocked as well. That second wicket, Aftab playing away from the body and getting an edge. And simple catch to Gilchrist. Down leg side, nicely played, easily played.
Well, that'll get Ashraful on strike. He's yet to score. He's only been there for 5 deliveries. Salih at the other end has been a little subdued, 2-3 from 13. As you can imagine, with a couple of wickets falling, that does get a few nerves in the camp. The ball is actually just moving around a little bit. It was funny, the other day we had a bit of cloud cover and it didn't move at all, but this morning there's more humidity and it's just doing a little bit.
It's a lot more humid here today. Maybe that's the reason ball is getting a bit more deviation in the air. Nothing off the wicket though. This is good, solid defense. That's, if as a bowler I'm bowling, it's a batsman. If you're defending like this with the confidence, then obviously I'll think twice to bowl at him or try anything different. And in one-day cricket, as a bowler, you should try to bowl maiden overs and let the batsman make the mistake to start off with. And then when your body's warmed up, then try your different things. Go wide of the crease, close to the wicket, or in swing or out swing, whatever you want to try.
Well, wide this time, with down the leg side. Just dragged it away there, Mitchell Johnson. Short, not bad bounce, but just dragged it a bit wide. Scoring opportunity there missed, but it's pretty hard when you first come into the crease and your first half a dozen deliveries trying to play a hook shot, isn't it? And hope that you hit it to the fence.
It is. You have to restrict your shots at times, especially early on in your innings. Much better line. Nicely played to work hard man, so Ashraf is off the mark. And the whole stadium is noisy here. This is a debutant, Mark Cosgrove.
He's got a decent pair of shoulders on him, doesn't he, Cosgrove? He is a very good left-handed batsman. You can imagine when he hits the ball, they stay hit. Very prolific run scorer back in Australia. But boy, he's got a big set of shoulders. I would like to run into him.
He's only 21 years old, so we haven't seen him much, but like you said, he's very consistent in domestic cricket back home. And he is a big lad. But obviously, there's plenty to learn for him, and obviously representing your country is a great honour. He must be really thrilled.
I'd imagine he would be. He'd be tickled pink at the moment. Five overs gone, 11 runs, 2 wickets. Well, there's some of the crowd there. That's some of the Aussie supporters in that area there. That's more players, passes and such like that. A bit more of the VIP area there. Now that's a good quick single. He's running to Hogg, but he's made that easy. Very quick between the wickets, this pair. They have to be with that inner circle there of the Australians. Some quick fielders there. Hogg is a very good infielder.
Hogg is one of the best fielders, and he's got a very strong arm and an accurate arm as well. But quick singles are required here as far as Bangladesh point of view concerned. Direct hit could have been close. We'll have a look just now. Yeah, he was comfortably home, yes. These both, the boys, Rajan Saleh and Aftab Ahmed, they really have to rotate the strike. Bangladesh is under pressure. This is nicely bowled. With his height, 6'7" he is. Brad Dory is 6'7", and obviously he's getting extra bounce because of his height and high arm action.
He comes right over the top, doesn't he? It's got a good high action straight over that front leg. Look at it from the front. It's got a straight front leg too. You see it? A lot of times you see bowlers these days have a bent front leg. It collapses when they bowl. If you're 6'7", the last thing you want to do is come down to a bloke 5 foot high. And he uses his height well.
Yes, front leg is very important for our fast bowlers. Down leg side into the gap. They're going to run couple here. Cosgrove after it. He got it off. Bangladesh got 2 more runs.
Just slopes in, a very short run up. Comes in straight, nice and close to the stumps. And watch that front leg when it hits. It stays straight now. See the knees locked? And the arm straight over that front leg. And that's why he gets a bit of bounce. Plus his height, so he gets an extra bit of bounce.
Much better shot. Playing with the straight bats towards mid-off. A safer shot. And if it's not there, if you're not near the pitch of the ball, just block it. Playing a defensive shot. front foot just came, didn't move it enough, but again, the bat was straight, and that matters eventually on a slow tracks.
There's that little away swinger again. That's the one he's got to watch for. And like you say, if they play out, well, 12 overs, just steady, let the ones wide of the stumps go, all of a sudden those balls won't be moving anymore.
And they still have the captain to follow, who is in tremendous form, got 350s already, 2 in 2. But today I think big innings required from one of them at least, Ashraful or Rajan Saleh, if they get to a decent total. Nicely bowled, made in over. 3 from the over, 14 for 2.
Well, wickets, no balls, wides, everything in that first half hour. Unfortunately, it's gone Australia's way so far. So to talk you through the next half hour, Adar Ali Khan and Harsha Bhogle.
There's just 6 overs in that first half an hour. Now the first authoritative shot. Should be looking at 3 here. Yeah. No. Stay with 2. There's a long distance for the fielder there to cover. Dan Cullen was the fielder.
Yeah, it was Mohammad Ashraful looking for his 3rd run, but lovely shot on the front foot from Mohammad Ashraful. Well, when he is in song, he looks a different player, doesn't he? Beautiful played, just caressed it for a couple of runs.
Yes, he's only struck the first few notes here yet. Well, just got some part of the body to it. They'll sneak a single, and I'm not quite sure he timed it perfectly, but the intention was there.
It's probably the bounce that Ashraful expected didn't get up. Mitchell Johnson pitched it short, but a little bit closer to him for the pull shot.
All of a sudden the shots are starting to come here. This time Rajan Saleh. If you can get it past this man in the cover, then you've played a good shot, because he's an awesome fielder. Big throwing arm, takes some blinders in the field. Very strong contender for the best fielder in the game. I think Australia have 2 of those, Ricky Ponting and Andrew Symonds. I do believe that Ponting and Symonds together actually a fair match for Jonty Rhodes and Herschel Gibbs playing together. That was quite a combination as well.
So I think that the other person who can come close to the company of those 2 fielders that you mentioned, Ricky Ponting, I think it's Michael Clarke, who's really quick. He stands in the gully in the point area, and he does have a habit of picking it up from both the hands, either from right hand or from the left hand. That's where a lot of players get confused, especially the batsmen.
So I think that's imperative, though. If you're fielding inside the circle, you should be able to pick off both hands, and certainly be able to throw underarm off both hands. And it surprises me that more top fielders don't do that already. Everyone has a preferred arm. Michael Clarke is left-handed. I'm sure when you're fielding inside the circle, most of the throws are underarm, especially if you're running in for a pick and throw. And I definitely think that's the way ahead, to be able to do a pick and throw of both arms. It's impossible to be able to throw with both hands, but the underarm flicks that very often cause the run out for short singles, able to do it with both hands. But he's excellent. And I think that's a non-negotiable. If you're 17, 18 years old today, and if you're not an outstanding fielder, then you're doing something terribly wrong. Played very fine. He's been trying that shot for a while. First boundary of the innings comes up. 7 overs gone. It's now 22 for 2. Boundary of the last ball of the over for Mohammad Ashraful. Johnson now is 1 for 15. Dory, very interesting character, 1 for 7 from 3 overs. He's a very tall man. Now the statistics provided to us say he's 2.03 meters tall. That makes him very marginally under 6'8". If you assume the 2.03 meters is correct, he's a big man. And you wouldn't want to run into him. He worked as a bodyguard till a couple of years ago.
That was the last ball of the previous over. Mohammad Ashraful playing it fine, getting a very thin edge. Actually played it beautifully. Came off the middle of the bat, just turned the wrist and went fine for a boundary. That's well played. Yeah, I think Dory, even the height that you just mentioned, I think is the arm when it comes from the delivery view. Once it comes over, it's got a really high arm action. He doesn't bowl with a lot of pace. What he does is that he'll get some extra bounce because of that height. And if you can just take a look at his action, we'll come back to that. That should be called a wide, and is. The extra bounce, you're tall, that's fine, but if you have a very high arm action with that height, on a wicket, even on a flat wicket like this, he'll get a few with an extra bounce. That's where the trouble starts for the batsman.
One no ball and 3 wide. Struggled with his radar in his first over. A huge experience for a lot of these young Australian bowlers. A lot of them have been brought up on pitches like the Gabba and the MCG and the Wacker and Perth. And there the ball really does things after pitching. I've seen Stuart Clark bowl in a couple of Puro Cup games, and there you see the ball doing a little bit off the deck. The pitch helps you as well. Now all of a sudden they're here and they have to counter the pitch. So the pitch is not an accomplice, but the pitch is a rival. It's a huge learning experience. Big inside edge. Also means you've got to do as much as you can in the air. Either be very quick in the air or get the ball to move in the air. Because once it hits the surface, then you're encountering an opposing force. And I think that will be a huge learning experience for the likes of Hopes and Dory. Even Bracken, though he's played a little bit on the subcontinent before. And I think the one who's risen above it a little bit is Mitchell Johnson. That's Nathan Bracken, not playing today, left-arm swing bowler. Johnson looks like the kind